Well, we're here with three absolute legends who've had a lifetime, almost it seems, of involvement with the Bridgenorth Football Club. Denis, Wayne Cuthbertson and Darryl Carey have been good enough to join us. Great to see you three. Welcome.
Thanks, Rick. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for having us.
We talk about the history. Patch, for you, where did it all start here at Bridgenorth?
My father played probably only 100 or so games here. My uncle played here as well, coached the side as well. But I think I only ever played one mini league game due to me parents were too busy on the farm and couldn't get me here. And then my cousin Tim Brumby brought the brother and myself here when we were 15 and 16 to start playing our footy careers here at Bridgenorth.
Fantastic. And what about for you, Wayne? Where did it all begin for you down here at Parrot Park?
I think it was about 1970, the very first year of the mini league. I thought, well, now's the time to start. Not knowing at the time that my future father-in-law was going to be my coach. I started there and worked from there, and it's just led from there, and I've been here ever since.
You obviously made a good impression on your future father-in-law then.
Oh yeah, must have. Yeah, that's for sure.
Darryl, for you, a lot of long family history that we'll talk about shortly. But tell us about your first involvement, your early memories with this club.
Yeah, it was probably the early 1960s. Just come here with Mum and Dad, obviously. Yeah, so I was just here doing the scoreboard and all that sort of stuff as a 8-year-old. And now I'm 67, so it's been a long time.
So we talk, we're 100 years, we're celebrating, so we're talking around the 60 years ago. We've got this beautiful backdrop here today where we're sitting up in these lovely rooms. How things changed? What have you seen that from what it was like back in those early days for you to where the club is located now?
Well, it was just one little rectangular training change rooms, basically, which was the bar as well. There's one little scoreboard over in the half-forward flank that was just like a little goat shelter, so to speak.
The person doing the scoreboard was out in the open, weren't they? There was no cover.
We just had a little bit of a roof, but so it's definitely gone upwards from there.
And Patch, for you, your life member, your wife is a life member of the club. What's been the key to the success of this club continuing to not only survive but evolve and continue to be a powerhouse of the NTFA football competition? Can you put your finger on it?
I think it's just been the people involved with the club. I think ever since I've started, we've always had very strong committees that have continued to improve the facilities and improve the players that come to the football club. But I think it's just the people that are involved with the footy club always attracted good people, and we still do to this day.
Yep.
Yes.
Wayne, similar situation. Obviously, yourself and your wife, life members of the football club as well. And do you see the club's evolution? I mean, we talk about as well, the success of and the development of the under-18s, the women's football team undoubtedly probably leading the way in Tasmania, let alone the NTFA of women's football. How important has that been for the club as life changes? The generation today with women playing football and developing so quickly, it's pretty special.
It is, yeah. I can remember, actually I was a coach of the very first under-18 side at Bridgenorth, and I used to have to go pick these kids up every Saturday morning. You'd find them in all different places. They'd be at someone, they'd been partying the night before. We had a pretty poor lot. We struggled to get players, and from there to where we are now with not only strong under-18s, but a highly successful women's program, and that it's just come so far. It really has. In the early days, I think our mini league was the big catalyst. I know in the 83-84 premiership, I think there would have been a dozen out of our mini league that played in those two sides of reserves and seniors. Since that's failed, we get them from elsewhere, but just how they keep coming, because the culture of the club drags them. I think that's the thing. And when we get them, we tend to be able to keep them. And that's the important thing.
They might only intend to come for 1 or 2 and they
Exactly. That's happened ever since I've been here.
Yeah, the mini league was a big catalyst of all that.
Yeah.
Not only with the kids, but the parents were so good as well, and the families. That's what's made this club better.
Definitely.
And Darryl, I mean, you've got so much strong family history with the Bridgenorth Football Club, but I'm interested in the fact that we obviously know and well documented that we're out here in free land, we're not in a town anywhere. Travelling was never always easy. Now you don't even think about it really. We're 10, 15 minutes from the city, but it must have been pretty difficult in the early days to attract people to come and play from out of town.
Well, in the very early days, they used to have to go and pick them up in buses and trucks with a flat trays, whatever. Just the locals, that is, but then we had to just get them from all in town, basically.
How did the club approach trying to build a team?
It was all through friends of friends, basically. We just had to. We're all good people, and yeah, so it just started from there.
Well, those early teams, like there's 3 or 4 names, and that was a team. That's what there was. There was 5 scholars. There was 4 picks, and there was 6 blacks. It was just amazing, really.
That's going back into the original days. But with our era, it was just friends of friends. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Not many. I was talking to Wim Vassen a little earlier, and he mentioned a really poignant comment was on the fact that he played with Exeter, and then as it turned out, the situation arose where, well, he had to make a choice what he was going to do. And once a player came here, they rarely left.
Yes.
Because of the culture
yes.
and the volunteers and the people that work here. So it's something that's been able to be maintained. Still has a very strong committee today. A lot of younger people don't really get their hands dirty, so to speak. It's a different generation.
Yes.
But this club doesn't seem to fit that mould.
No. We've always seemed to have pretty good numbers on our committee. I think because we've always had good numbers, you can share the workload, so it's still enjoyable. Day at the footy, do a few jobs, and then watch a bit of footy.
Yeah. There at one stage when it was only seniors and resis, we had more than half of the people live in Exeter that played up here.
Yes.
Which they didn't like, of course.
Were they always one of the biggest rivals for you through your days?
Always.
Exeter was the game you always looked on the roster and think, I can't wait for that.
Yes.
It wasn't the players as much as the supporters were more, if not as much or not more rivaled than what we were. Like, it was crazy. We had some great games.
Committee driven, wasn't it, also?
We had the local publican behind us, we had the local policeman behind us, we had the Rosebeers publican behind us.
There'd be a keg up for grabs if you got the win over Exeter, Darryl, wouldn't there? Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I guess it was that always a tough road trip, going to Exeter and having to deal with the fans down there?
Yes. Yeah, plenty of parochial fans. Yes.
Just the Midsons and the main ones that run Exeter. She was pretty full on, but apart from that, as to spread out to Glengarry and stuff like that, we just become us, really.
I've got one good memory of we beat Exeter here on the last roster of the game of the year, and we had a very poor side. They were up the top of the ladder, and we beat them. And Fred Lack, whose name's probably come up, but Fred came out on the ground with a drink tray that used to have 20 cups of cordial with 20 beers in it. And we stood out in the ground and sung the song and drank 20 beers out in the ground because we beat Exeter on the last game by a point. It was like winning the grand final.
Fantastic. The Parrots name, there's only 2 clubs in Australia, obviously Parrots,
yes.
Lee and Gather being the other one. Where did that originate?
Oh, good question.
Well, it's obviously been the Parrots around here. I think that was the first one they come up with.
Yeah.
Which they tried to change it a few times, but
there's been a few coups trying to change it, but it's never going to happen, I tell you.
Got to stick with it.
You got to stick. You got to stick.
Yeah.
You all had distinguished playing careers as well. What are some of your individually some of your fondest memories of playing football?
Any win's a good win, but probably any close win. Always enjoyed the close wins. Played in one premiership and with Cutho, and that was obviously '84 was a very memorable year. But even the premierships the club's wins now with myself on the committee, I get a lot of enjoyment out of watching the club you know, the women won one recently, and all the other unders and resis and seniors premiership you've won when I haven't been playing.
We've always been the underdog sort of thing. Like I said, you hear it every day. You know, we're the place with one street light sort of thing, and any success we get is just so well accepted down here and all that. It's just we tend to celebrate more than anybody else when we do have success, because we've probably the first 7 or 8 years I played, we hardly won a game, and from there it's just slowly built, and it's not about winning every year, but it's about being competitive every year, and that's what we enjoy. So any win's a good win.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, injury was a big factor with your career as well, but there must be some great memories from you from playing days.
Yeah, I done my knee early on and then did me back at work, so I finished on 99 games, but got a couple of premierships in the resis, which was pretty special, and all the premierships we win here are all we feel part of, so it's all special.
Guys, I want to focus on the contribution that you've made not only to the club over its history, but in particular the period. We spoke earlier today on the 96 premiership, and now the last senior premiership for the club back in 2010. The work that you put in individually and collectively that culminated in that premiership. Talk us through that period, not only the celebrations of winning that senior premiership, but also the work that went in from a club perspective to reach that point.
Probably Paul Beachy was a big part of it, wasn't he? He was, like I said, we worked really hard to kind of get him on board, and he was really enthusiastic, and he had a lot of pull as far as kind of enticing people down.
He played for Tassie, didn't he? Represented Tassie.
Yeah, so he kind of come from Tassie to here, which was amazing, really.
We probably had Wayne Mitchell previously that came to the club and brought half a dozen players with it. It started our progression of improvement, playing
And
final.
also we started to get a bit more professional, just started to lift it a little bit, level up a bit. That's where it all snowballed from there.
Yeah, and then obviously Paul Beachy came on board, and Paul was very good at attracting players.
We've always said, like I said, it's so easy to be roundabout without winning. And we were roundabout, but like I said, just those extra players made the difference.
We look fast forward to 2024, 2025, the club's turning 100. Where do you see the future? How do you see the future of the Bridgenorth Football Club with where it's placed right now?
Yeah, I think we'll continue to be successful. Yes, I think with all the work we've done behind the scenes to get ourselves at the level where we're at, I think people enjoy coming here. They stay. We've got a good, strong committee. There's no reason why we can't be successful for another 100 years.
And then we've got Lagana growing in the background, and got a strong committee, so and all down the Tame as a feeder to us, so I think it's up to us to encourage that to happen.
Probably the biggest thing, and I'm not involved with the committee anymore, but the biggest thing those blokes do is just they improve something every year as far as facility-wise. It's not all about paying everything you earn on players. You've got to keep improving your facilities, and while you've got good facilities, you can entice good players down here, and that's so important for us.
I think that's one thing the club's been very good about over the years, is that we've put good sides out on the paddock, but we've also continued to improve our facilities, every year in some capacity to, the fantastic facilities we have today.
Probably finally, you guys have seen a lot on and off the field. Give us the goss. Who are some of the great characters? What's some of the great stories that you've seen? There's got to be some great things in the memory bank.
Catho's brother-in-law was one.
Yeah, that's a bit hard to talk about.
Well, Lee Blackwell was a great character, great person to have involved with the footy club, very funny man. Yes. Yeah.
I'd say Lee Blackwell too, because I offered him a goal when he was playing seniors when I was match manager, and sometimes I was forking out 7 kids.
That would have cost you a bit.
Yeah, so it was a bad move, but it was worth it.
He didn't take any home with him.
No.
So it's just been so much fun off the field as well as on the field. Yeah, like we have some tremendous functions and things like that, and I think they're as just as kind of memorable as what our games are.
Yeah.
Like it's a very sociable club.
Play our footy hard and
Yep.
socialise afterwards.
And in
Yeah.
the early days, I might have said before, Fred Lack used to be running the bar, and he used to pull the plunger up on the barrel and tell all the townies the beer was gone, and as soon as they drove back, he'd push it back down, and we stayed for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
You've spoken about the facilities here and improving things every year. What was it like back in the days when you first became, I guess, collectively involved with the football club? Take us back to what it was like here back in the early days.
Yeah, gee whiz, it's changed. Or look, obviously our existing change rooms were both sides. You know, there was gravel all out the front. There'd be a fire pot out the front going, an old 44-gallon drum with the fire going out the front. There'd be, you know, half the side smoking in the change rooms. But the old PK and juicy fruit chewing gum before the game, and the oranges at half time.
Yeah, we were old, Dennis.
Yeah,
We
I
are
know.
very
I think
old.
that's way back to then. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cabaret at night was always called a cabaret, wasn't
Oh,
it?
yes.
And you'd be up to the top there, and you'd hand over your $5, and then you'd drink until you couldn't drink anymore, and then you'd go home.
Yes.
So
Yes.
That's a cheap night.
It was a cheap night. Yes.
Or maybe it wasn't back then.
Yeah.
You used to have the old kiosk with the combustion stove, and just have to get the Saveloys on first job of the morning.
Yeah.
Who made the best Saveloys?
It's always been Midson's Butchery at Exeter. It's just been taken over from Nigel's. Always. We've never virtually gone away from them.
no, I haven't.
For three blokes that
50
love
years.
to beat Exeter, you
Yeah.
hold their
Well,
Saveloys in the
Well,
highest of the
all
highest.
the businesses Exeter, we supported them all. Yeah, so it's just an unreal situation.
I think the grounds too. I mean, when we played, the grounds were muddy mid-season. Like these blokes now have got no idea the grounds they play on with the drainage. You know, we had 3 training lights. That was it. Only training one half of the ground.
Yeah.
But the grounds, there was nothing to run out of the ground ankle deep in mud mid-season. Everybody's ground.
As far as concussions nowadays, we shouldn't be here talking today.
Yes, one umpire. They missed a lot.
They definitely did.
Well, you're either, the three of you all faking it very well, or you actually didn't get clobbered too much.
No, we cocked our bit. We cocked our bit.
Only the 2 light poles out here as well, so yeah. So
I think we've all got a clean record, haven't we? No one suspended.
Is that right?
Yes.
no suspensions.
And how you got past
many
it?
How many games, Patch?
Oh yes, 400 odd. Yes, only one report, but I was innocent.
Dennis had a signature move. It was called the clothesline. He brought a few down.
Shouldn't have tried to get around me one.
Now, every club had one. Who was the go-to man that always had your back at Bridgenorth if things got a bit tough?
Greg Bogut was very, very close there.
Yes, I played back pocket and Greg Bogut played centre half back, and I always walked a bit taller with him playing near me.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
In my early days, Fred Lack was off the field because he was the one we just virtually kept the club alive. But then Michael Buck, when I was sort of playing, he was the one that helped me through most of my days playing.
Well, look, the contribution the three of you and your families have made to this club over so long are immense and can never be undervalued. I guess just finally, what advice do you have? We talk about 100 years, we move into the next era. What advice have you got for the young men and women playing here at Bridgenorth now as we move forward into a new era of football?
Yeah, I suppose it's probably important when they finish playing football they continue to run the club after us. You know, that's what we've all done, and we need the younger ones to continue to do that.
My advice is probably playing with the one club is just so rewarding as far as like your circle of friends. Like I still associate with dozens and dozens of the friends that I've made here over Bridgenorth over the years. You know, you can just drop out and there's someone around for a beer or someone around for a barbecue or whatever like that, and all my friend base comes from this club.
Yes.
And it's something, I revere, really, for sure.
Now, I think we've got good coaches here now, so I think they've just got to keep up the work ethic and it'll come.
Well, look, as I said, I think on behalf of everyone at the Bridgenorth Football Club, your contributions, as I said, are immense, and we thank you for that. And I know you're still very keen supporters of the club, and well done on what you've done. And as I said, you've really been a part of nearly half the life of this football club, and your families, you know, if we take that into account, longer as well.
Yes.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully we can get a premiership in our 100th year. How nice would that be?
That would be cool.
That's one big name, that's Paul, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Your best choice in beer, wine and spirits is the Hadspen Bottle-O. Call in and see Stuart at the Hadspen Bottle-O and check out the huge range of all your favourites. The Hadspen Bottle-O is an extremely proud sponsor of the Bridgenorth Football Club, with a special focus on the under-18s team. The Hadspen Bottle-O, your best choice for the best cheers.